Recently, I had an opportunity come up. A client of mine, I'm a hairstylist, and I have a client, and she has become a friend, and she asked me to help her fiance. Her fiance was starting a car detail business, and she was wondering if I could help her and her fiance with some social media stuff for this car detailing business. And if any of you know me, you know that I have no interest whatsoever in car detailing.
Danilee is terrible at social media stuff. Let me say that.
Well, yes.
I mean, there was this time.
Come with it.
Okay. So I released a song this last summer, and I sent her the promo to post on her Instagram page, and she posted and tagged it. And within 3 seconds, I shot her a text and said, "Take it down. Take it down. You posted it wrong."
And my response was, I knew you were going to tell me something. So I'm not really great at social media stuff. But when she asked me this for some strange reason, I was like, heck yeah, I can do this. And so I literally worked for them for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I increased their followers. I increased their engagement. I found some cool other websites that can help push the business. They were getting more bookings for the car mobile detailing business. It was a success, and it was really, really random. And actually, babe, you were kind of upset with me.
I was really upset with her when she came home. Actually,
he was like,
the day she came home and said that, hey, so my client needs
I'm going to help out with a car mobile detailing business.
Yeah, and I said, what? What about all the stuff that you want to do? She said, yeah, I'm going to help out with their social media, and I'm going to help build up their audience and all that stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? What are you talking about? Like, you have all these other ideas that you've been sitting on, and you're doing nothing with it.
So maybe some of you have experienced this before, where an opportunities come to you and you actually low-key get excited about it and you jump at the opportunity, and it's something that you're not even passionate about, or it's not even anything in your field that you actually really see yourself in the future doing. So we're going to chat a little bit more about that today. So if y'all are ready to dig with us, let's jump in and let's dig.
Thank you for tuning in to the Let's Dig podcast, where Pierre and Danilee invite you into their personal conversation. Listen to them dig deep to bring you hope, inspiration, and valuable tools to equip your goals. Learn ways to think beyond your current situation and help make steps towards a life you haven't even dreamed of. We all don't have it figured out, but as they dig, you'll dig with them and find some of your own gems along the way. So here are your hosts of Let's Dig, Pierre and Danilee.
Okay, so you guys hear a little bit of smacking right now.
I know, you're still eating the grapes.
I got some grapes with me. They're like, Danilee bought some green grapes about a month ago.
No, just a couple of weeks ago.
About 3 weeks ago, while I was in South Africa for work.
The soccer team snacks.
And I came home, and this big box of green grapes was sitting in the fridge, nicely refreshed, everything. So I'm like, oh man, okay, they haven't eaten these yet. She's like, yeah, I got it for the soccer team. Okay.
They were extra. They were like leftover.
Well, no one ate it. So we go to the grocery store about 2 weeks later, and she wants some snacks, some fruit snacks, healthy snacks for when she's at work. She goes to grab a bag of purple grapes. I'm like, what are you doing? You have grapes at the house? Yeah, but they're green. I'm like, are you serious?
I was bored with the green ones.
Now we have a collection of grapes. So anyone who's running low on grapes, if there's ever
just come to our house.
And hurricanes and things like that, and you need grapes for some reason, we have grapes. So someone has to eat these grapes. And apparently Jordan, our 5-year-old, doesn't like grapes anymore. He doesn't like green grapes.
It depends what day it is.
Right? He don't like green grapes or something like that.
Yeah, he won't eat the green ones. That's also why I got the purple ones, because I thought he'd eat the purple ones.
You mean these ungrateful kids. So, all right. Let me wait. This last bite.
Let him swallow the grape, guys.
All right. So you see the title, right? Let's Have a Baby. Why this title, Let's Have a Baby? A couple weeks ago, I was hanging out with some friends. No, not weeks ago. A few months ago, this past summer, I was with some friends, and they've been married for a few years now at this point, and they seemed like they were very bored really bored, and I'm hanging out with them at their
They
house.
actually told you that, right?
Yeah,
like they said that. Like,
they
we're
said,
bored.
I don't know, we're kind of bored. They said every week is the same, every Friday is the same, every Monday is the same. Like, we just every day after work, we will always do the same thing. And I was
Right.
like, okay, wow, you sound pretty bored. Yeah, they said we're thinking about having a baby, and I stood there. I said, okay, yeah, you guys should have a baby. And they're like, really? And at that moment, I thought, not a real baby. How about a baby like an idea, a dream, a vision, something that you know you're called to do, something that you should be birthing, but you're not doing. And I realized we've all gone through that situation. You know,
Right.
I'm kind of in that right now. You know, even when I'm birthing a baby, I still have all these other ideas and
Right.
visions that I'm sitting in. And that's why, as you guys heard in that the intro when Danilee was talking, I was so frustrated with her when she came to me and said, hey, I'm going to help these people with their project, in other words, with their baby. And I'm like, they're birthing something and you're so quick to just jump on their dream, their vision, their idea. And I was just frustrated with you. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was just kind of frustrated. 'Cause
And
I'm like,
that's when I got defensive of, yeah, but babe, this is like no stress for me. They give me the content. I think of a caption. I do the, footwork for the hashtags to figure out which ones work. And once a day, I pop on there, get the picture, cut it up a little bit, put a filter on it, put a quote, and I hashtag away, and I'm done.
Yeah, I get it.
Like,
I
it
get-
was, and I was telling you, like, it's way less stressful to push someone else's business as opposed to pushing my business, which has been hair for the last 10 years. And when I look at a picture, I'm like, oh, I don't like that curl. Or, man, it looked way better in person. I'm not posting this. Or I have pictures for days that I just don't feel like is Instagram worthy, or, all those kind of. So it's so much more pressure when you're trying to do something that it comes from your soul or comes from your heart or from your vision and your dream.
So, but let me ask you this. Like, what is the thing that's keeping you from doing yours? Like, you know what I mean? Like, during your baby.
It's all that pressure. Like,
you're so quick to jump on someone else's baby. Like, when they're
Yeah.
like, hey, we're doing this thing, we want to do this. Like, can you help us with this?
It's the pressure of that, because when they said, can you help us with that? I was like, yeah, totally. And it was no pressure because it wasn't my pocket. I wasn't trying to generate my income. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't
Right.
trying to pay my rent bills with this post. I wasn't putting my name out there. My name's nowhere to be found with this car business. So on the opposite spectrum of when it's my hair pictures, my makeup pictures, my whatever it may be that is my work, I'm way more hypercritical, if that's even a word. I don't even know if that's a word.
I don't know.
But I'm way more critical of my own work, and then I don't like it. So then I'm not going to post it. I mean, I
Right.
can take 12 pictures of a client who just left my salon and think it's great. And guess what? When I sit down to post it, I'm going to talk myself out of every single one of them, and I'm not going to post anything.
So, how do you get out of that, though? Like, that's what...
Yeah,
I guess
honestly,
that's what,
in a perfect world, it would be that I flip-flop my thought process. It would be so beneficial to me to take that stress off of myself and put no stress on myself, no pressure, and just post a bunch of stuff. Like,
Right.
that would probably change the game for me in that sense if I could just check out of all the hypercritical stuff that I'm thinking and just post it and be done. How I was for him every morning, I'd post around 9:00, put a little caption, hashtags, peace, I'm done for the day. If I could put that less of a stress on myself, man, that would be like a game changer.
I feel like this is a thing that so many of us are dealing with. You know, I go through it now as a songwriter, as a producer, as a
Right.
musician. You know, I'm always comparing myself to other people's stuff. I have all
Always.
these songs that I'm sitting on.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? I have all these songs I'm sitting on. I'm not doing anything with them. Some of them are completely done, already written,
Right.
produced, recorded, all that stuff. And I'm just sitting there because I'll hear someone else's record, someone else's song, and I can't seem to put mine out because I feel like I'm going to be judged. I'm going to feel like I'm going to be looked at,
personal.
or it's, the whole comparison thing. So if I can jump on someone else's thing, then it won't be as tough. You know, it won't be as crazy if I can just jump on someone else's baby. Then I feel like I'm doing something good. I feel like I'm birthing something, but I'm not really birthing.
There's not birthing your own. It goes into the same analogy with let's have a baby. It is way less stressful to just be a babysitter or a nanny.
That's true.
You clock in, you keep these children alive for 4 or 5 hours, and you clock out. I'm not responsible for their nutritional value. I'm not completely responsible for their behavior, or I actually only go above and beyond for their behavior, what the parents allow me to do.
Yeah,
I don't care about their long-term development. I'm not concerned about how many vegetables did they eat today.
I get it.
So
similar to us musicians, or a producer, or an artist. If I'm working on someone else's song, if the song flops, or in this sense,
it'll come back on you.
Or in this sense, if a baby is a bad baby,
it's a bad baby.
I'm just going, well, it ain't my baby.
Right.
Just
it
like
doesn't
the
come
song.
back on
Like
you.
if I'm working on someone else's song and it's not mine, the song flop, well, it ain't my song.
But when it comes to your own child, you're like, oh, we're not having that attitude in this house.
Yeah.
You better eat those vegetables because we're going to grow. That's not in our house, really.
Yeah.
We don't really.
Okay, here's the thing, man.
We struggle with vegetables over here.
Here's the thing. We just got to figure out how to get past this, like as people, Someone's probably listening to this podcast right now. You're listening to us talk. And this is kind of like how we have our conversations. We kind of hash out a few things. And, Danilee comes home or I'll come home and we'll have something that we're talking about. And we just kind of dig. We dig. And that's why we're calling this podcast Let's Dig, because it's a community thing. And so also, feel free to jump in. If you guys ever see anything, jump in on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us on all the crazy platforms, all that stuff. We want to hear back from you. We want to hear your thoughts on these things because we're going to grow together.
PSA, public service announcement. Also, sometimes those digging sessions, guys, they are uncomfortable, and you will probably run into a few times where me and Pierre are going to disagree. And naturally for me, as my personality, those kind of things, and very much so in the past, were very uncomfortable for me. I didn't understand how to disagree and not argue. If I heard someone disagreeing, that automatically meant they were fighting. So when we get into these digging sessions, know that it is not easy for us. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's tough. But we feel like it's a big part of this podcast is to show you guys how to have those hard conversations and how to work through them and how you grow from them. The only way you can plant a seed is to dig that soil out and bury it. Mm-hmm. And you've got to dig down to the root. You've got to get the root of the weeds out so that you can flourish. So we just want you guys to know that as these podcasts come out, as these conversations come through, some of them may feel a little funky, or you guys may just hear me and Pierre argue for a second.
Yeah.
But don't shy away from it. It's for growth, and it's always going to be to uplift us and to grow us and to help others along with us.
Even as she's talking, and I'm actually going to direct this to you, babe, like, you got to ask yourself at the end of the day, if you don't birth that thing that, and you still have a few things you're still sitting on.
Totally.
A few things that you haven't birthed yet.
They're eggs just around me.
The eggs, yeah.
I'm like a mama hen.
Huh?
Like the hen, the chicken. Nope. It's like, dang, I really am from Indiana.
Yeah.
It's the hen, and she has her eggs in her nest, and she keeps them warm until they're time to hatch.
All I know is chicken, fried chicken,
okay,
baked
we can
chicken,
use a chicken.
Roasted chicken.
I think a hen is a woman chicken, like a female that lays eggs.
All right, okay.
Anyways, I have eggs to hatch.
Yeah, and you're sitting on these eggs.
Yes.
And okay, I'm gonna throw this in there right now. This week, is it Wednesday?
Lord. Yes.
Wednesday will make us actually 6 months pregnant.
6 months pregnant, guys.
Danilee is actually carrying a freaking baby right now in her stomach.
A literal baby girl.
Now, here's what's wild. So we're having a baby.
We are having a real baby.
But here's what's crazy is we waited like 2.5 years for this baby.
Yeah.
We wanted to have a baby 2.5 years ago.
Right.
We wanted to have a baby, right? Because Jordan at that time, he was what, 3?
He had just turned 3.
Just turned 3. And we're like, man, we want to give him little baby brother, little baby sister, because we don't want them to be too far apart, right? So that they can, I didn't want them too far apart because I didn't try and take 2 kids to 2 different schools. That's what I was thinking
I didn't
about.
want them to be too far apart because I'm from Indiana. And so the natural state of law of Midwest is that your children are 1.5 to 2 years apart.
Well, okay. And even on that topic, because of where you're from, you probably feel like you're behind schedule.
Oh,
like, you know
they
what I mean?
tell me I'm behind schedule. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 32 and I'm only having my 2nd child. I have friends who are literally done having their 4th kid.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I'm not going to talk about them because I don't know any of those people personally.
Right.
But being with you the last 12 years and seeing the ideas and the visions, the things that you've been sitting on, the things that you've been wanting to do, had you've had all those babies then, you wouldn't even be this close to where you are right now.
True.
You wouldn't have even discovered what you was good at.
Half
and
of
I
them,
think
yeah.
so many of us, we just jump in and say, you know what? We just want to go ahead and like couples, for example.
Right.
Let's talk about couples. Okay, you're listening to this and you're a married couple. And if you're a newlywed, I'm putting my just my opinion. The reason why I'm putting it, because this is our platform. We're using this. If you don't like this, you can turn it off. I'm just saying, if you just got married, wait on having that baby.
Yeah.
There are other babies that you could be birthing right now. That business idea, that vision, that dream, that thing that you've always wanted to start, that old car that you always had, you wanted to remodel, a house that you wanted to fix up, that vacation that you always wanted to take. And some of us, we get bored so quick, we say, hey, let's just have a baby. And I'm not against that.
Right.
I'm not against that. But had we just jumped to having all these babies then, we actually wouldn't even be sitting right here in Los Angeles.
We wouldn't.
Chasing dreams.
And that's what happened exactly, was that we were talking about it. We felt ready. We were really comfortable. And that was about the same time where we felt like, oh, there's something happening. We feel like a job change could be coming. Like, we felt like a shift coming. And sure enough, from that month on, it was a whole transition from us moving from West Palm Beach, Florida, around family, and we ended up moving across the country to Pasadena, California.
Which we probably need to, with these people listening, we probably need to take one of these episodes and just kind of talk about our story. Just kind of our lives, because you're kind of throwing in these little nuggets here and there,
Right.
which some people know the story, but there's probably a lot of people that
Right.
don't know the stories.
But because of what happened, because of that moving situation, it did put a hold on that baby. We thought we were ready for it as a family.
2 years plus.
Right. And then it was, oh, there's transition coming. Oh, now we're going to move to a new state where we don't have any family. Oh, but then that means we don't have a community. So now we need to build that community. We literally talked to guys. We specifically had a conversation and said, we don't know anyone in LA and we're not going to have a village. So let's wait a year into being in California before we start trying to have a baby, because we're going to have to build a village first. And we didn't want to add a baby and not have any people around us.
Yo, okay, it just hit me right now.
I saw it hit your face. Like, what happened?
Okay, so 2.5 years ago, we talked about having a baby, right? 'Cause
Right.
Jordan was about 3 years old.
Yes.
Want to give him a baby. If we would have got pregnant then, we would not be sitting here right now, because we probably would have turned down that job opportunity
To move
that we had
to California.
To move to California.
That's probably true, actually.
That baby would have taken it would have given us a detour in life.
That's true.
That's crazy. That's crazy, right? And so timing is everything. Timing is everything. We waited 2 years to finally have this baby that's in your stomach right now.
Yep.
That's in your stomach. Those 2 years, why did we wait those 2 years? It wasn't us just sitting down and just scratching ourselves and just smelling our fingers, just waiting for life. No, we spent the last 2 years and we hit the ground running, birthing other different things. I mean, we're living in a place we never thought we'd be living. Like, Los Angeles is really cool, really dope. We actually really love it.
We love it.
And doing things that we thought we'd never be doing,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Had we had that baby then, it would have held us back.
Right. And part of it was we had quote unquote babies put in our hand that's what we moved out to California for. We had a project. We had something that was placed in our hands that we took care of for a year.
Yeah.
We had our family life that we had to adjust to California. We had our own visions and dreams that we started working on a little bit. So there was other things in our hands that we needed to take care of for a few years.
And some of those,
and that put our baby on hold for a little bit.
And some of those other things that are put in our hand, they weren't, just like you said, it wasn't from us, it was from others.
Right. It was
and
other people's as well.
Okay, maybe you're listening to us right now and you're a step behind. You're like, you know what? I don't know what my baby is. Mm-hmm. I don't know what my vision is. I don't know what my dream is. I don't know where I see myself in 10 years and 5 years. I'm going to challenge you right now. Take some time later on today, tomorrow, whenever you have, take some time and write out the things that you dream about at night. What are things that you daydream about? What are things that you're doing when you're scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through Facebook, all those things, and you wish you were doing?
Yeah.
If you wish you were doing the things that you would do for free. Matter of fact, when someone said, hey man, can you do this thing? I can't even pay you. And you said, yes, I'll do it.
Got it.
Those are probably the things that you want to be doing.
Sometimes the easiest way to find what your baby is by taking care of someone else's baby.
That's exactly it. And that's what we did the last 2 years.
Yes. And you find out what you're good at, what you run with, what your strengths are. I even read something the other day and they were saying like, just make a list of all the things that you love to do about your job and all the things that you hate to do about your job. And they were like, right there in front of you is where you'll flourish and where you'll fail. And if you really want to be a success, get someone else to do the things that you fail at. And you just focus on your successes and you'll flourish. So I think that's a big thing. Just how you're talking about Instagram. Someone told me the other day, they were talking about, this is really interesting too, they were talking about how you can consume too much stuff and it can be like overflow of like knowledge that you just took in. And I was like, ooh, I'm such a consumer sometimes on social media.
Are.
All right, take it easy. But guys, literally, I can watch hair and makeup videos forever on social media.
And you know what? Let's pause on that for a second. You could sit down and also watch Shark Tank for like
it's true
3
too.
hours.
It's so inspiring.
And you walk away and you did nothing.
I did nothing. But that's what she was. And then the person that I was following talking about like taking in too much knowledge and not doing anything with it. She said, maybe you should be making the videos that you can watch all day.
Huh.
Like she was like, maybe that's what you're supposed to be doing. And that's why you can watch so much of it. And I was like, that's kind of crazy to think about.
That's cool.
And it was actually a big pill to swallow because I still didn't do anything about it because it feels really overwhelming and stress. Remember when we talked about the beginning of this pressure?
Wow. So you're like, wow. So I love this video. I should make this video. You know what? That's too much stress. Jesus help this girl. It doesn't make no sense.
Well, I'm just being honest with y'all. It's this whole thing is not that we have all the answers. We are literally still trudging through this stuff every stinking day. And it's just about growth. It's just about sitting here and talking about, okay, yep, that's my weakness. Or man, that was a really good point. Maybe she was right. Maybe I should try a video. Maybe I should try this. And just realizing your strengths and focusing on them.
You know, as you're talking, that's crazy. I just remembered, okay, so I spent the last 12 years, I worked in, full-time church ministry, meaning I was a music pastor, worship pastor. That's what I did for the last 12 years straight. We moved all over the country for it, and I enjoyed it, and I thrived. But the last 3 years got very interesting. I started having digging conversations with some friends and people and with myself, and I started realizing, man, I get to the point where I feel unfulfilled, like I'm not satisfied. And instead of getting upset and frustrated at my employers or the churches that I was serving, I started digging in myself and started thinking, what do I enjoy doing?
Right.
What's the thing that fills me up? Where do I feel like I can thrive? Like it fills me up and I never get burnt out. Mm-hmm. And I realized I just want to help all the churches.
Right.
And what happens is I feel like I have a large capacity, like my bandwidth is really big.
Which is true.
Where I can take on a lot.
Guys,
And-
nothing rattles him. Nothing shakes him.
Right. I could be working on several projects at the same time and I'm okay.
In a high pressure situation and you're, whatever, the world's coming crashing down and you've got 3 seconds till your show starts and Pierre's like, no, we're good.
Oh, hey, the drummer's not showing up. They got a flat tire. Okay, cool. I'll play drums.
That is Bible, guys. That actually really happened.
Or the drummer sucks. So we had to sit him down, put the bass player on drums, and I grabbed bass while I was up front leading.
Also, real story.
Yeah, real story. But anyway, these digging sessions, I found out that I enjoy serving all the churches. And guys, I kid you not, that is literally what I do now. So now I get to help them all out throughout the month. I get to do Skype meetings, FaceTime meetings. I'll fly out to different churches, serve some other ones here locally. I work with some of them. And it was all because of digging and figuring out what are things that I dream about all the time. And I always pictured myself doing that.
Right.
You remember that, babe? Like years ago, 10 years ago,
Always.
I would always talk about, I had a friend just text me today. He said, bro, you remember you used to tell me all the time that you was going to travel the world and go all these places and help out all the churches. That's literally what I get to do now.
Yeah.
And that's all because obviously God put it on my heart.
Right.
And you guys notice, for those of you that are listening and you're like, man, they talk about God a lot. Yeah, we are faith-based. We believe in God. We believe in Jesus. He lives in our heart. And if it wasn't for him and his guidance, we would not be where we are right now. And we give it all to him.
Yeah.
And so, but through God and wisdom, right? And wisdom
Right.
and having the right friends. And I want to challenge some of you guys that's listening to this right now. So first thing I would say, how do you find your baby? For those of you that don't know what your baby is, help others. Serve others, help others and their babies. And you'll figure out, okay, I don't like this. I don't like this. Oh, I love doing this. I love doing this. My mentor used to say all the time, you'll never know what you're good at until you do everything.
It's true.
Like our son right now, Jordan, the dude is freaking just 5 years old. And we thought he was going to be a drummer. Then he thought he was going to be a singer, then a guitar player. Now he's obsessed with soccer.
It's so true.
And I'm like, hell, do it all.
Do it all,
Just
baby.
do it all.
Do
You're
it all.
5. You'll figure it out soon which one you're good at. And I think so many of us are just sitting there and we're sticking to that one job because we've been there for 8 years.
Yeah.
Or Danilee, you could talk about this.
All right, here goes, guys. So I am almost 6 months pregnant. And 3 weeks ago, I went and got a job.
A day job, a side job, that's not her passion.
It is not my passion, guys. I am working at Chick-fil-A, even though I am passionate about their food because it is so good. But I was feeling stuck in a rut. I had been working in hair for over 10 years. I have moved in million times in every about 2 years, which makes me restart my career every time. And so we've been in LA for, is it 2 years now?
2 years.
2 years
Sorry,
in
I'm still
LA.
eating these grapes.
He's still working on the grapes. We've been in LA for 2 years and I just haven't seen the change that I wanted in my hair business. And I was frustrated. And, me and Pierre had long talks and guys, these were heavy talks. Also, they had extra hormones involved in them.
We actually still fighting about these. We still fighting about it.
Well, not fighting, but it was just tough, guys. And it was emotional and it
We're
was
praying
hard.
about it, right?
What?
We're praying.
No.
Is that what we're saying? Like, so what are we saying?
We're working through them still.
Look at you.
So, but yeah. So guys, I honestly just through conversation just said, okay, I'm just going to go get something else. I need something consistent for my family. Pierre's been traveling. I need more of a schedule and I need more hours and I'm just going to change it up. And I will say, I didn't find a new career. I did find a few things that I needed for my family, but it has really opened my mind to just feeling out of the rut. Like,
Right.
I feel like, okay, honestly, I'm 32. I can do whatever the hell I want to right now. If I want to go back to school, if I want to go get this kind of a job or that kind of a job, like it's literally just been enough to give me this fresh breath of air where I felt like I was stuck and suffocating.
Yeah.
And it's just breaking me out of that.
And that's what it is. Like I saw a meme the other day and it was a cartoon character. I won't mention the guy, but he's like an influencer, like when it comes to like motivation. and it's a cartoon, and it's one person saying, but I'm only 18. And the other one saying, but I'm 35. Another one says, but I'm already 65. And this guy, his response to all of them was, so what? Do it. There's some of us, we're sitting at this job. Like for me, man, I've been doing this for 12 years full time. I can't stop doing this. Wait, what?
Right.
What are you talking about? Sometimes it takes something like what you did. Just break it up. Take a break. If you feel like you're stuck, you're 32. Just take a break. Go get a day job somewhere else.
Right.
Get around new people.
Yeah.
Different people, different mindsets.
Sure.
And if what you left is really what you wanted to do, you'll miss it and you'll go back to it even stronger and even better.
Right.
But you won't know until you just do it.
And it has been just like a thing of, okay, this Chick-fil-A, the food is so good. But
This girl eating Chick-fil-A every single day.
I really can.
Like, I'm glad it's
There's so
closed
many
on Sundays.
items on the menu I can eat. Anyways, it doesn't feel like a new career path, but it does make me think, okay, so what are the things that I really do want? So if I give Chick-fil-A a year, so that gives me a few months after I have the baby, I'm thinking of all these details and I'm like, okay, so what do I want to do now that can set me up so that after I go back to work, after I have the baby and I work for a few more months and I give them a year total, where does that put me at so that I can say, guys, thank you so much for this year. This has been a great experience. I've made good friends and I'm really thankful. But now I have this baby that I've been working on for the last year. That's enough. It needs my attention more and it can take care of me a little bit while I make this transition.
And that's what I'm saying. You just got to put some thought into it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to put some thought into it. You got to think, okay, what are the things that I obsess over?
Right.
What are the things that I miss? What are the things that I wish?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you go through all those things and I guarantee you'll find your baby. You start helping other people out. I mean, start interning, guys. I mean, if there's an area, if there's someone that you admire and you want to be where they are, it doesn't. You have nothing to lose by reaching out and say, "Hey, I'd love to be where you are someday. Is there any chance I can just shadow you?"
Just a little side note, guys. It was not easy for me to go do this job, and sometimes it's still not easy for me to even say I have this job. When I went to go interview, I was at this point, I was about 4 months pregnant. I was hiding my bump because I was afraid they wouldn't hire me because I was pregnant, because no one wants the pregnant girl on their team. And I was surrounded with over 20 like teenage young college students. I can't tell you how many of them were either wearing, for an interview, mind you, they were either wearing a hoodie, jeans, or Vans, or some kind of combo of all of the above. And I was like, what? I'm 32, about to have my second kid. What am I doing here? It did take a lot. It had to humble me, honestly.
Right.
And say, you know what? I'm not too good for this. I have a vision. I need to shake things up. I need these certain things for my family. I'm going to go through with this. And God, if it's not for you, you can slam this door in my face. And you know what? The door opened and it's there, and this is just for a season, and that's okay. So
right.
Guys, if you're ready to go, like, don't feel like you're too proud or too old to do an internship, or you're too proud to ask because you feel like you've gotten too far in your career. No, start at the bottom. Start in somewhere else.
Yeah.
Start at the bottom and see what's there for you.
I mean, even now, I'm doing one of my dream jobs.
Dream jobs.
I wanted this type of lifestyle and doing what I'm doing right now for years, for over a decade, right? But this last summer, or in the last 2 years, I went from being the boss of like my whole department, running the whole thing. I was front and center, to being all the way in the back of doing some little gigs here and there, playing an auxiliary instrument that you don't even know if it might be muted in the sound system. You don't even know. But it took those things. I used those and I let it serve me as an opportunity.
Right.
It's an opportunity. So many of us, and this is going to be tough for some of us to hear, and I'm going to say it right now. So many of us want to start at the top. And that's wrong. It doesn't work like that.
Work that way.
So many of us want to start at the top. We want the big gigs. We want the big calls. We want a seat at the table with the CEOs.
Right.
But you're not willing to just help out,
sit in the back,
take the, or
Where
for us
no one can
musicians,
see you.
yeah, you know, do some freebies, do some free gigs, do some, just, hey, if you're a photographer and you want to get out there, do some free work. Do some free work. Just figure out what you want. If you're if you're a videographer, do some free production.
Yeah.
Do some little anime. Do some pornography. I don't know. No, I'm joking.
What? Oh my!
I did that for reaction
Guys.
to your face. I wanted to see how you would react to that.
We do not endorse that. Maybe it's getting too
Hey,
late for us
there's
to
money in
record
that
tonight.
industry, ain't it?
Doesn't it matter? Oh my goodness.
No, I'm playing. Or am I?
Pierre,
I don't know.
Let Jesus deal with your heart, sir.
Okay, so all I'm saying is we cannot start at the top. We cannot start at the top. So I want to encourage someone. If you're listening to this right now, I hope you feel encouraged. I hope you feel challenged. I hope you feel like sitting into our personal digging session as we're figuring out how do we get out. And this is actually a good contrast because here I am where I'm operating in a place where I dreamed of, and Danilee is several steps behind.
I'm in a random job.
She's kind of she's stuck, and no, but this is great. But she's kind of stuck, and these are the steps that we're taking to get her unstuck. Take a break from it, step into another industry, maybe use that as an opportunity to meet new people. And that's what you're doing too.
Right.
You're meeting new people, you're making new connections. Don't see it as, oh, I work at a restaurant. No, this is another career opportunity to shake some things up. You're going to come back and recalibrate. You have a plan, you have deadlines, you have due dates.
Right.
A lot of us aren't doing that. We get stuck, we get bored, and we just quit. So I want to say,
Don't sit there. Don't stay.
Boy, don't get stuck. Don't just get bored too. For married people, don't just get bored and say, you know what, let's just have a baby and hide behind having babies.
Right.
I'm not, and first of all, if you're listening to this and you know me personally, I'm not talking about someone specific.
Right.
I literally have no one specific in mind. I'm not saying that, but I know there's a lot of people that do that. They hide behind, or you're a college student and you got 2 bachelor degrees and you're going for another master's degree and you're hiding behind school.
Right.
Just step out there and do it. Just step out there and do it. Step out there and do it. So let's have these babies. Let's birth these babies. Let's birth these visions. I'm a Bible guy, and I just wanted to share a scripture, which is random because I don't really do this all the time. But 1 Peter 4 verse 10, it says, each of us has been given a gift. And this gift is used to serve others. And I believe if we can just all use our skills and our tools to serve each other, we're going to figure out what we're good at.
Yeah.
We're going to see, wow, I really enjoy doing that.
Right.
And this is what's going to fill us up. Too many of us are living in a world right now where we're doing, I'm just going to make up these numbers, but I'm pretty sure they're real somewhere. And, you know, most stats are just made up on the spot. But most of us are doing 20% of what we really enjoy and 80% of what we hate doing.
Right.
And it should be swapped.
True.
You should be doing 80%, 90% what you enjoy doing, and the 10, 20% of the stuff that you don't like doing. Because that's life. That's
Right.
everything. You know, even in marriage, there's
Right.
some stuff that, you know, I don't enjoy doing. And Danilee be making me do this nasty stuff when we
Babe.
having this baby.
Hey guys, it's too late. We got to shut this down.
Yeah, it's really late right now, so I'm starting to say some crazy stuff. When we be trying to have this baby, no, I'm playing.
Pierre, reel it back in.
You
sir.
guys should be here in our living room and should see her face right now. Like, she's like so embarrassed. Like, chill. Like, you already got the baby inside you. Relax.
I know, but it's a lot.
All right, man. That's it for
Guys,
today. I got nothing
we
else to
love
say to
you.
these
Thank
people.
you so much for digging with us today. We really do want to hear from you. So go to our Instagram and DM us. Tell us, what are you working for? What are your visions? The other day we asked a question about what's your goals for 2020. We want to hear what is the baby inside of you that you want to birth that you just don't know how to get there. We want to hear what you guys are working towards or where you're at. Maybe you're more on my side where you're shaking things up with a rando job and you're just getting a fresh perspective. Maybe you're where Pierre's at and you're working your dream job, but you're still knowing that, okay, but what's next? Because that's something we've also learned is that, yeah, you can have a dream job, and we are so humbled and grateful for it. And it was definitely something that God worked out in our favor. But that's not it.
Right.
You're not done.
I have all these other babies.
So where's your other babies coming from? So, well, no, wait, I don't like that.
Well, I
don't like the way.
Well, I got
No
you as my
other
natural
babies.
baby mama, and then I got Is it Mother Nature?
Listen, there's no other mamas involved with
God
you.
the Father? That's
only me.
Baby daddy? I don't know.
No, Pierre.
All right.
Anyways, we love you guys. Thank you for digging with us.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Talk back to us. Talk back to us. We're always live. And we want to hear from you guys. This is a community. So if you hear anything and you want to put in your wisdom, because we're not experts. So if you have a suggestion, send it to us. Email us. We'll screenshot it. We'll put it on the page for everyone else to see. This is a community, and let's continue to dig.
You've been listening to Let's Dig, the podcast. If you've enjoyed today, be sure to subscribe, rate, and share this episode. Also, Pierre and Danilee would love to hear from you. Find them on all social media platforms at Let's Dig, the podcast. Thanks for digging with us. We'll see you next time.
We stay